Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to episode 1 of my base. What's that? Pippin has a base? Yes, I covered this in an earlier video, at least a little bit, but for those of you who didn't catch that, I came upon this site once upon a time, a long time ago, and I decided to dig. And I dug some more, and I dug some more, and I dug some more, I dug some more. I kept digging until I hit bedrock right here. And then I decided to root out all the dirt and sand and stone, and then I covered it with glass until it looks a little bit like what you're looking at right now. But we've made a lot of progress since then. And I'd like to show you that a little bit before we get started on what we have to do today. So the first thing that we did was we built the Obsidian Walls all the way up to the height build limit. As you can see there, the beacon beams end. So we are way, 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 way up. My base is so tall that the clouds go through it halfway. That's kind of amazing. As is this terrain difference here as you walk right along the edge. That looks really cool. It'd look cooler if we could load the chunks more. But we'll get to that. Anyways, so yeah, another thing that we did was we built scaffolding for every single floor. It goes all the way up from the bottom to the top. This was because I was at I didn't know how to proceed. And so I was just like, let's just do a scaffolding. It'll be really expensive because that's a lot of cobblestone. But we decided to do that just so we would have a game plan to start on. And so once we had all the floors scaffolded, then we started working on the first floor. And we're going to work on the first floor today. That's what we're going to work on. But I have some other stuff to show you. This is an elevator. It's actually, I think, 19 different elevators. Minecart elevators that go all the way to a specific floor. One for each floor. So if we test that right here, we open up the Y coordinate and show you how fast it goes. We'll take this one, which goes all the way to the top. Bang. That was like 10 seconds. We are absolutely flying. So that's like the fastest upwards way to travel in Minecraft, other than, I don't know, maybe some crazy TNT cannon can beat it. But that's not practical at all. And so we have also, we've got the ladders, and these are the chutes. And they drop you down into a specific floor each, and they take you down even faster. And so that's pretty fun to fly all the way down there. Another thing I built is this arena. There were a couple things that I built before I got started on each floor, just because I knew that they were necessary to do first. And some of them were cosmetic and just for fun, like this. We got the lava in the middle lighting it up. We've got a beacon passing through it. One of our, beacon beam sets. And so you can actually fight mobs in this arena. But you just gotta press this button here. And then the lava comes down. It takes quite a while for the lava to come down. It builds the suspense. It builds the suspense. It's exciting. What's gonna happen? I don't know. But we're gonna find out in about 50 more seconds. Now, some of the building materials here, I used quartz. I used acacia wood logs, which is an interesting choice. I think it turned out a little too gray, but I don't know, you be the judge. I used a lot of gray. Now, as you can see there, we had pistons underneath that are timed just so that they push up right when the lava runs out, so that we're not tripping in little holes that held all the lava beams. And as you can see, we got obsidian blocks in the middle there. That's to protect the spawner that's inside. And we also have this AFK room right here, where you can hide and just wait for more mobs to spawn. And then when you open that door again, it can be quite the war, depending on how long you wait. In this case, I waited like a minute. And then there are a bunch of them. With the beacons on, you're kind of a god. It's one shot for any zombie without armor. But, I'm definitely going to install a switch that can turn off the powers, if need be. That'll be nice, and it won't be hard. Nice sped up when it turns off. Now, for the same thing, the blocks lower just as the beams of lava reach the bottom, so that you're not dying with it spilling all around. And that's nice. With this current timing I've tested, every time I've tested, it's never failed. That'd be a little scary if it did. Another thing I built is a really, really weak Squid Farm. It goes really slowly. I built one for 1.8 that just produces squids like crazy, but obviously it didn't work in 1.7, so I had to do this older version, and yeah, UAFK all night, pretty much for, I don't know, 9 stacks or something. Slimes, on the other hand, this slime farm produces slimes just way too fast. That slime farm, I mean, God. Okay, so this is a floating torch. In 1.6, this terrain was generated in 1.6, and in the stronghold that we're now sitting in, this used to be a stronghold, there were terrain generation bugs, like the floating torch, and my particular stronghold had only one of them. And so we made a little room to honor the glitch, because it's very special. So now what I'm doing is I'm getting started on the task that we have set for us today, and that is to be placing stairs just above each storage unit. And I should probably explain this storage unit a little bit, because it's quite the undertaking. What we're trying to do here is we're building a massive storage unit that scales multiple floors that will house every single stackable item in Minecraft. And on the floor above it, we're going to have a great filter that has the, 300 or 200, however many items we have. It has a filter for every single item in Minecraft, so I can just put all of my extra stuff, anything that's stackable, into a chest, and it will filter through the great filter, and every single item will be sorted properly into its correct silo. So that's quite an undertaking. There's going to be extra room. There was actually a lot of room. I thought that this project would take the multiple floors, but it turns out that this floor that I'm working on right now is going to house the most items out of all 3 floors that we're going to have for these item silos. And as it is, there is so much extra room on this floor. It's going to be even more on the 2nd and 3rd floors of this storage silo. Now, slimes spawn a lot, and that's because we still have a lot of extra room for them to spawn in their slime chunks. And once we have the design done, it's not going to be a problem. But it's a huge problem as of now, because it's the only thing that can spawn as long as we stay in daytime, which I need to in order to continue to work on this project. I can't have creepers spawning, not with what we're looking at here. So we got these huge hopper chains, and that's another thing. They're going all over the place. There's one for every single chest, there's one for every single row, and then the individual rows of hoppers snake up to the floor where the great filter is going to be, and I marked the floors for, I marked each hopper chain up there just so that once we place a ceiling and we can't even look at this anymore, that I know which line is for what. So that was really highly complex, and if any creeper blows up any set of these hopper chains because we had to fit and pack so many in tightly, it would just be disaster. It would be an absolute nightmare trying to fix and figure out which one was supposed to go where. So yeah, we sleep at the end of each day. No nighttime for me. even so, with the shadows that some of these objects, like the Colosseum cast, we still have some mobs spawning, so we're just as aware as possible. So we chose 3 different blocks. We've got the brick stair, the sandstone stair, the cobblestone stair. That's what I deemed was, I don't know, a fitting color scheme in contrast with the black clay that's housing the storage units. Eventually, once we finish this entire storage unit, we can take this temporary, really, really disorganized storage up here and just empty all the items into the filters. Another interesting thing that I did, that I had to do, was I had to get a stack, half a stack of every single item in 1.7. That was actually a very fun and interesting challenge. So in total, this base is going to have, gosh, I don't know, it says 19 floors, but there's actually, let's see. We've got 2 through 7 basement floors. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we have 1 through 20. So it's a total of 26 different floors. And pretty much all the basement floors were reserved for the storage system, but it turns out we have 1 extra, which is the very highest basement floor, B2. And the one we're working on right now is going to house primarily building blocks. It's almost entirely building blocks. And it's going to be the largest section of it. The next floors that we have is utility/redstone, and then above that will be environment/food. And then above that will be an entire floor just reserved for the filter. And that'll be useful because if we ever update the world, we're going to need to expand this silo to include the new items that Minecraft will have available. And so we'll need additional filters and additional storage silos. And so we'd be prepared to do that. The design for the storage silo floors is not entirely cosmetic, but I think it's sort of... It's cosmetic in an underhanded way because I'm going for a very specific aesthetic. A sort of moody garage type aesthetic because we are in a basement. So you could sort of imagine it like a parking garage. So we use materials that make you feel like you're experiencing that aesthetic, and we do it over a large scale because these floors are massive. And then what we're going to do is, since the half slabs are the floor, we don't actually need any light at all, so I'm going to have a lighting system that will be in the roof of this floor that will just be able to be turned on or off. So on, there's actually not going to be very many of the lights. They're going to be very spaced out, so it'll be very, very moody. There'll just be sort of a glow. And then it can also be off, in which it'd be total darkness. And that's cool too. I don't know yet if I'm going to have them all connected to one switch. It's probably going to just be floor by floor, if I were to guess. Maybe I could do both. I don't know. It all depends on how much room we have. When it comes to horizontal space, we have infinite room. We have too much room. But when it comes to actually vertical space, we don't have a lot of room. Right above the level where I'm placing these sandstone blocks, we're going to start working on the ceiling. And then that ceiling is going to have also the redstone lamps. And then above that is going to be a wiring floor that you can see there's a row of hoppers that already inhabit that. And so we're just going to be fighting for space to snake around, and you can't go really up or down at all. Unless I were to specifically make room for it because we need to. Which I wouldn't want to do. So the Y space is going to be pretty darn cramped. Definitely not in the upper floors, but here on the bottom floors, certainly. And it's going to be completely spawn-proof because obviously we are in slime chunks. There's lots of slime chunks, and there's no room for any sort of, well, it's lit up, so it's spawn proof. No, it needs to be half slabs or glass. And I think in every case, I'm choosing half slabs or solid block. And then half slabs on the top. Anyways, this is taking quite a long time, so we're going to go ahead and skip ahead to the roof section here. So here I am, figuring out what kind of dye I need. And turns out I need partly green and partly blue, of which I have plenty. I made a cactus farm over there, as you could see. That was also one of the first things I made. And at this point I'm raging because I know I have cooked green dye somewhere in the storage system. I mentally memorized like where everything was, but I couldn't remember where the green dye was, so here I am wasting time cooking more. Trying to get out all the cobble, yeah, just trying to sort out. I'm continuing to rage because this system was messed up. And I was actually pissed until I saw the charcoal, because I was like, am I gonna have to get charcoal too? Turns out no. We can begin cooking immediately. So we ended up making cyan dye, and we chose cyan stained clay for the roof. And it's a bit risky because with the already light gray floor we've got with the half slabs, it's sort of a risk because it's like, is this too gray? And the answer is maybe. But I don't think so. I think we've got a very different colored floor in contrast to the color of the roof. And all that blends nicely with the storage silo black. I sort of definitely need to work on what colors I like to put together. So far, it's just been sort of white, black, just black and white, really. That's kind of like what I've been going with, is all shades from black to white, and all the grays between. But at some point, as soon as I start doing this, I eventually realize I actually need to stop because there's some really tight spots that I need to get in each silo storage system, and it's probably the best idea to get those going first. And so I ended up doing that after I worked on this column here a little bit in this corner. And I decided to do that with time-lapse because, as you can see, this footage is a little scraggly. I don't know how to describe it. It's just the way that I mine, I go back and forth, and it just doesn't lend to an easy watch with sped up footage. So we're just gonna go directly to the time-lapse now. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a second. And we are done. God, that took a lot longer than I thought it would. And the really big thing is, it took a lot more clay than I thought it would. 200 times 200 is what, like 40,000? Something like that? Yeah, it took about half my clay stores to create this ceiling for the first floor. This is going to be a long project, and we're going to take many more trips back to the Mesa biome here. Why don't we take a look inside? I want to see the lighting in here. That is just absolutely beautiful. Why is it beautiful? A really, really simple answer to that. It's the scale. Look at the scale. Look at the lighting. This is exactly the mood that I'm sort of aiming for. Except, I like the ambiance of the silos, actually, but that's sunlight coming from them. Maybe I'll put glowstone behind the steps. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I mean, this is great. I love what I'm looking at here. Hey guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. Making these videos do not come easy. I'm currently pouring hours upon hours per week grinding Minecraft, designing projects, and editing videos to get you guys a new video every Friday morning. In addition to being a father and working a full-time job, I'm getting up at insanely early hours and planning my day right down to the hour in order to make time for this. Considering we're going where no Minecrafter has gone before, it is completely worth the effort. If you want to support me, I have a Patreon. If you want to throw me a couple bucks per month, access my Discord to talk to me and or give me feedback, and have your name in the credits, all of these rewards are available. It may just be a couple bucks a month, but it is a huge help to me. You are my Superman. You are my Helen Keller. You are my Gandhi. Regardless, thank you everyone for the support, whether that's through Patreon, in the comments, or even from viewing. See you next time.